All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, Big Q, representing the sports Coma. Shout out to FanDuel, our sponsor of the show. Get all your bets in at FanDuel. MMA, NBA, doesn't matter. Go to FanDuel, get your bets in. On this show, man, we're going to talk about the Saints predicted to pair, right? Shout out to Sports Illustrated, Kyle T. Saints predicted to pair explosive 1,100-yard wide receiver with Mr. Chris Olave, potentially the Saints' $30 million wide receiver, right? Could that work? So anyway, with that being said, man, y'all hit that like button as we up in this thing. We're going to go over this article right here and see how would that work, right? For a long time, we've seen Chris Olave when he first was drafted. We knew that the Saints were at the time trying to pair Chris Olave with wide receiver Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas kept getting hurt. We thought that he can make it through his injuries, and that would have been a terrific Ohio State tandem of Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed at the time. Well, guess what? Our wide receiver room has shifted. Michael Thomas ultimately played out his contract. Rashid Shaheed was traded before the trade deadline to Seattle. He won a chip with them. And Chris Olave, who had the best year of his career and is looking for a $25+ million payday. We did a show somewhere he's going to line in between $25 to $30 million. He wants that bread. You might be looking at a $30 million wide receiver in Chris Olave, but nonetheless, every good wide receiver needs a running mate. Could this guy from USC be the guy for him? Let's get into this article. Y'all hit that like button. New Orleans Saints could use one more big play wide receiver, right? Very early, but it seems like the Saints are going to be in a very good position to add a big time piece with the number 8 pick in the first round of the NFL draft. When you think of the Saints, there are a few holes the franchise needs to plug this offseason if they want to take a significant step towards contention in the NFC South. The Saints need to add an explosive number 2 receiver, more running back depth with Alvin Kamara getting up there, 1 or 2 pass rushers, and a guard, right? I ain't mad at none of that. The 26th draft won't be until April 23rd. The next few months are going to be full of mock drafts, rumors, prospect meetings, and plenty of speculation. New Orleans arguably is in a good spot, a very good spot. The Raiders have the number 1 pick. It would be a shock if they didn't use it on Fernando Mendoza. So only 6'9" quarterback prospects are expected to come off the board by the time the Saints pick. By the time the Saints are on the clock, someone like running back Jeremiah Love, safety Caleb Downs, edge rusher Reuben Bain Jr., receiver Jordan Tyson, receiver Makai Lemon, or defensive tackle Peter Woods will be available. Any would be a good get. Arguably, offense should be the priority, and this is indeed the truth. The Saints need a playmaker, right? We need a playmaker. On Tuesday, Daniel Jeremiah dropped his second mock draft. I did see that. And this offseason, it had the Saints going receiver with Lemon. New Orleans Saints number 8 pick, Jeremiah wrote Makai Lemon, USC wide receiver. The Saints inject a major boost to Tyler Shuck's receiving core. Kellen Moore exactly know how to use Lemon's skills. Now the Saints have a few clearer holes that will be options available when they get on the clock, but Lemon fits the description. He's an explosive playmaker coming off a season in which he racked up over 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns on 79 catches in 12 games. If the Saints gets someone like that in the building, the offense is going to be in a good position for 2026. Very interesting call on getting Makai Lemon. But that's, and like I said, man, I'm not mad at all about the potential of adding a guy like Lemon. But to me, I don't see Lemon. He's a talented wide receiver with big playability. He's kind of small, though, I like Lemon. I just think, I'm kind of sour on the pick. You see what I did there? I'm kind of sour on the pick. Now, like I said, this is a talented player, right? And he's done a lot of positive stuff. It's not a one-year wonder either. right? So it's a guy, he had 79 grabs, 1,100 plus yards. He had double-digit touchdowns. Last year, he had 50-something catches, 700 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he was kind of a guy that has been a home run hitter, right? He's averaged almost 15 yards a catch over his last 3 years in college. But I don't see Makai Lemon as a top 10 wide receiver. I'm sorry, I just don't. You know, I mentioned Jordan Tyson. I think he would be a better get for the Saints, but I understand what they're talking about, right? I understand it. I get it. I understand it with Makai Lemon, but he's a little smallish. He's a little smallish for me, right? You know, but like I said, I would more likely prefer Jordan Tyson than I would Makai Lemon. I think Jordan Tyson, if you want to go with a stellar wide receiver, because Carnell Tate is a technician, right? Solid route runner, does all the positive stuff well. But in terms of athleticism and size, because Jordan Tyson is 6'2", 6'3", has a good degree of speed and athletic ability, also runs decent routes, has a multi-year of doing this type of stuff. And like last year was his better year. Like last year, he had 75 catches, over 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns, right? He averaged almost 15 yards a catch. He was hurt in 2023. But, you know, this guy, when healthy, is a stud for you. Now, at 8 position, me personally, I like Tate and I do like Jordan Tyson. I think those guys are 2 of the best guys in this draft. I like Lemon, but I just think Lemon is just not there in terms of the size. I would not take him with the 8th overall pick. I like his potential as a playmaker. I just find it, you know, I just wouldn't spend the pick. Not at number 8 for Lemon. Like I said, he's a fire little guy, but I wouldn't spend the pick because I'm trying to see if I can land somebody. If I'm gonna get a playmaker, I want a bigger wide receiver with speed. You know, like because the reality is, let's say if you lose Chris Olave, right? You lose Chris Olave for any stretch of time. Somebody's got to step up. You got Divine Vele. You're gonna have to have whoever that draft pick is. If he's taken high, to kind of step up and occupy. You need a guy with size and speed that can complement Chris Olave when he's there as the physical guy or whatnot. A guy that can play on the boundary and inside. You're going to need that. A guy that has that type of speed. Now, don't get me wrong. Lemon is a blazer, but Jordan Tyson's a bigger physical wide receiver that I probably would go with over Lemon. Maybe Lemon later on if he's still available. I don't think he gets out of the first round, but I'm saying in the top 10, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not taking a 5'11" wide receiver in the top 10 of the draft. You know, I'm gonna look at Tate, I'm gonna look at Tyson, but not Lemon. Maybe later on to the second round if he's still available, yes. Or even if you're a team in the second round, to me, yes. I mean, he's first round talent, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, I'm not taking him inside the top 10. I think we could do better than that. Anyway, that's what it is. If you look at the wide receiver room, man, listen, man, the wide receiver room is a glow with all kind of wide receivers. We got all kind of guys. A lot of these guys are simply not experienced. Like we've seen a few games from a couple of these guys, but we haven't seen a great deal of experience from some of these other guys. And like I said, Lemon is a guy you look at, man. And like I said, I like the guy. I just don't like him at that pick. I just don't like him at the pick. Hold on, let me get the 40 times on because I know his 40 time. He got a tremendous 40 time. He averages 15 yards. He's 4.46 in the 4.46 in the 40. So let's see. Yeah, he's listed as let's see, a 4.46. They're saying his 40 time is 4.46, 5'11", 195. 4.46 in the 40. The time of Jordan Tyson. Let me see what Jordan Tyson's time is. We're gonna see because I think we're gonna see what his time is, Lemon's time is when they get to the combine and the pro days. You had 4.46 from Lemon, and you got a 4.43 from Jordan Tyson. And then you got a 6'2", 6'3", receiver, physical, 50 ball guy with that speed. You get my point? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to take a big, fast guy who's a better overall receiver than a smaller receiver. No disrespect to Lemon. He did a lot of good things. From a production standpoint, he did really well for USC. But Jordan Tyson from Arizona State will more than likely be the guy I go with, if not, if you're looking at speed and size to kind of stretch out depending on what your offense looks like. We're going to be paying Chris Olave. If you want a top-notch wide receiver, I would say more Tyson than Lemon. No disrespect to Lemon, just for what we doing, we need a Jordan Tyson. Like, if we get injuries to Chris Olave, Tyson can slide over there, act as that guy, along with Valet and the rest of these guys, and we just keep this thing going on. But we'll see how it all makes. What y'all guys think about it? Who would you prefer, a Jordan Tyson or Lemon? Who would y'all guys like and think would do better with the Saints wide receiver room? Which one would you guys like? So with that being said, man, that's all I got. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We're in here representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of our show. FanDuel, for all your betting needs, y'all check them out on their website or on their app. Go there and get your bets in at FanDuel. And with that said, y'all feel free to check out our Shuck Y'all merch. Is available right now. The link is in the description section. We got 5 different designs on the Shuck Y'all that is available. Y'all get y'all gear. It's very popping gear, really nice collection, man. Y'all get y'all's today on our pro shop. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna get on up out of here. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic, NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.